All right, you guys. So we got a very special guest today, man. He is truly a legend. He then did his time, changed his life around, doing wonderful things in the community now. We talking about the one, the only King Tone. Tone, what's good with you, man?
Hey, what's up, my people? Over here doing the work and enjoying freedom.
Yeah, I hear you doing wonderful things out there in the community. So typically I like to start at the beginning of your story, but I know you got some time sensitive information, so I want to make sure we get to that first. Can you share about the situation with United Way and what you got going on with the jobs and everything?
Yeah, real quick. United Way gave me a grant to do some work with guys like me, and we're going to transfer them into life coaches. So we'll be starting that October 4th, 6th, and 7th. We'll be having a training, and you could get employment with Grow Up, Grow Out, which is my company. And just reach out at A Rivera at growupgrowout.org, and you'll get all the information you need to join us. So please do that, and we'll be having the Latino youth in New York City.
And I'll make sure to put that email in the description so it's easy for people to access for any of those that are interested. But for these job offers, when you say it's a life coaching position, are we talking about for people that have been incarcerated, helping those that are going through similar things, or what exactly are we talking about?
Yeah, we're finding out that the Latino community right now ain't receiving the dollars and support for the kids in the community in gangs and are dealing with high oppression. So they're hiring me to go in those neighborhoods and get people like myself that they see like heroes for their last past behaviors, but we come as new examples and role models, not as gang leaders, but as reformed men that are thinking about jobs, ownership of businesses, and we share the story how we got to that point in our life for those youth in the Latino community that are struggling to get through this process called, teenage years and those tough things that we struggle with. So that's what they'll be helping me do.
Right. So definitely during some crucial years in those lives of the youth, right, where you could go either way, could definitely make decisions that definitely change the outcome of your life forever. And they look at you as somebody that was once in their position and, able to turn your life around and everything. So you speak to them in a way that other people that haven't been through it.
Exactly. So, but not only that, we don't just take you to tell your story because we're more than the story of our past failures. We show them how we dealt with each of those daily struggles when men and women have to deal with choices they made that make them get consequences that seem impossible to fulfill. They need a big brother. They need someone who walked that path so they could know that it isn't a finalization to what they're feeling, but there's somewhere they could go from there because we experienced it and we made it through that process. And then we give them life coaches lessons. We get them degrees and in certain fields so they could move up in this career. So it isn't like you stay on the street and just interrupt violence. No, we talk to the oppression that leads to violence. And until we resolve that, we don't change our youth.
Right. And I think that what you're talking about is great because, when you're coming from the inner city, a lot of people lack those role models in their lives, right? The representation of what you can possibly become. A lot of times it's so limited that these are the only things that you can possibly become. This is the only minimal ways that your life can end up. So for you to step into that position with other people that shows, hey, you can become this, you can change your life around and do this. I think that's a beautiful thing, man.
I appreciate it, and like that's Like you could talk about, you see this in our young adults in the rap industry, the music industry, the acting industry. Our people that are black and brown and going through poverty, they usually rap about the oppression they live. They rarely show the victory that they accomplished. They get stuck in the story that they think sells, right? The hardship. But there's victories in these stories that if they shared in their music, will give our kids a better direction how to get places. So it's like that. What is your message in your profession that you share that could misguide a young mind? And think about what you put out. And that as a gangster, as a father, as a mother, what message are you putting out to the young adults that they'll pick up to follow? And then you're responsible for that. And I think once we have that conscience, a spirit, we'll start putting out better products, better music, better entertainment for our young adults to get back to the days where we come from with Rocksteady and all the things we did to entertain our minds and get away from that gang war.
But I think that what you also represent is that you don't have to just be an athlete. You don't have to just be somebody in the music industry. You can be somebody that owns your own company or is the head of an organization that is in the community doing good work and giving back to the people. You know, a lot of times people view it as like these are the only outlets that you can possibly get out of the neighborhood, you know? And I think that that's amazing that you can represent these other outlets of what you can do with your life.
Let's keep it real simple. If you're breathing, you're alive, you walk in that hood on the block, you making a decision to show that you are a hero or a zero. The kid don't see in between. He say, wow, that young man, look at, he does this, he's good, he supports. But the little kid knows who he walks by and he fears because he sees the actions of something that's not productive. So you're a lighthouse wherever you stand, my brother. And I started learning that, and it made me change the decisions I made.